Harry was born on the 5th of July 1812 in the small village of Dunstan. Earlier this year, I just got a phone call out of the blue, and it was Ed that had picked up on Harry Clasper.
Once I met David, I could then start piecing the story together. The big problem for this, though, is that working class history isn't documented. It's kings and queens.
As a young boy, like many young boys in them days, he had to seek work in the pits with no experience, no knowledge, built the racing craft as we know it today.
Now, Hadaway Harry is a northeast hero. He's pretty much forgotten now because he was world rowing champion from about 1845 for over 20 years. And in those days, rowing was the main sport. Football really hadn't started.
In 1845, Harry went down to the Thames with a strong crew. He came back with the championship of the world, the first time the Thames watermen had ever been defeated on their own river. And the scenes on the return back to Tyneside have never and will never be repeated.
I was stunned by, firstly, historically, how important Harry Clasper was, not just to the northeast, but to boat racing nationally and internationally. Because not only was he a world champion, he trained world champions, he designed the boats that you have now in the Oxbridge races and the Olympics. And it was just an incredible, incredible story. And then, on top of that, the fact that the Blaydon Races, which you sing every fortnight at St James's Park, was written for Harry.
Ed one day invited us to go down to the North East Maritime Trust, where there's volunteers working, and it was great to see the skills and the tasks that they were putting into working these boats, and not only working on them, but also to get them seaworthy again.
We're here at the North East Maritime Trust in South Shields, the world premiere of Ed Waugh's new play, Hadaway Harry, a working boathouse. So we're surrounded by all sorts of rowing memorabilia and tools and equipment. As you can see, work's underway on the stage area. It's an ideal setting really for what is going to be the first performance of this play.
We're all volunteers, and the aim of setting the trust up was to keep alive the history of the wooden boats on the River Tyne. It's probably very apt that we're going to stage the first performance of Hadaway Harry in the trust, because it's right on the spot where he actually sort of performed. And I think people will actually come in and enjoy sitting in here and sort of drinking in the atmosphere at the same time.
It's going to be a very intimate performance, isn't it?
It will be,
with
yes.
us all assembled on the stage there on the bow of our major restoration project, which is the ex-Tynemouth lifeboat, the Henry Frederick Swan.
The seats will be around this area here on both sides of the bow of the boat. When you look around with the beams and the old roof and what have you, and all the bits and pieces in the workshop, it is just so atmospheric, and it's where Harry Clasper's boats would have been built.
It's going to be a really, really interesting piece, harrowing and funny in equal measure.
The reason I think the Arts Council have supported this, it's a great story. It's Ed's a local artist, and the Arts Council want to support quality work, and I genuinely think it'll be incredibly atmospheric, sitting right next to the Tyne where Harry used to start and finish his races, and I think it'll be an incredible experience.
There was no doubt about it, he was a very, very clever person, and in some cases you read he was just years ahead of his time.
When he won the World Championship and retained it for many years with his brothers, was basically a sporting superstar, bigger than anything we can imagine today, bigger than Alan Shearer or Malcolm MacDonald, to the North East, so much so that when he died, 130,000 people turned out for his funeral.
He is the greatest, and always will be, the greatest sportsman the North East has ever produced.